Thank you very much, Agustí. Pere Monràs.
Bon dia, good morning. La World Mimetic Foundation està aquí.
World Biomimetic Foundation is here. If it exists, it's because we need it. We have had a great response from different institutions and people. This is what makes us think this foundation is necessary. If it's necessary, it's because it gives us something. It's a pleasure to work together with this foundation, which is providing us a new way of thinking. It's a meta model, how to think new models. And this has a reason. It makes sense because the models we are using are obsolete. Therefore, to create new models, we need a meta model. This meta model is nature, as it has been said, but not only nature. I come from medicine. I have studied this field, and in biomimetics I see biology. Cells are the elemental unit of life. Each of us is made up of about 50 trillion cells. We all talk about DNA. DNA are the genetic part of the genital part of the cell. They are used to be able to reproduce. But the membrane is the important part of the cell. It exchanges elements with the outer environment, what is toxic and what is a nutrient. It has to be able to tell what's toxic and what's a nutrient so that it doesn't get intoxicated. If it gets a toxic product, a mutation can occur. So this cell, if it doesn't work well, it may create a tumor which will end up destroying the whole organism. So biology can achieve what Wagensberg proposes. Let's eliminate this "and" from me and the nature, I and the nature, and let's talk as I, nature. So biomimetics and biology fuse together and we think in a new and renewed way. Okay, so in some way, as a species, as individuals, as groups, we have to generate this transformation process from ourselves, starting by ourselves, to give an answer to what we are exactly. Let's talk about the cell again. The second function a cell has is, okay, it talks to the cell nearby and it says, okay, there's things I don't know how to do and you know how to do. Why don't we cooperate and we do them together? So I think this excessive individualism is not working. This complexity of the current world, we have to imitate nature. We have to connect, we have to share, we have to collaborate, we have to co-create. We cannot be so individualistic. We have to go beyond these limits of the individual and try to create this driving force Sebastián Serrano, a linguist, says that emotions are not a luxury. They are really useful to share, to co-create, to take into account other people. Also here on behalf of FITA, it's a project, Biomimetics FITA. It is born in Barcelona, and its first objective is to create a network of centers, the first of which will be in Sant Cugat, nearby, and later on it may be a part of the Hub Biomimetic International Center. There, the cognitive change that we all need will take place. We don't only need to have a lot of entrepreneurs and enterprises. We also have to activate the talents in each of us and integrate these talents in an ecosystem in which the dream of each person can become a project which has a high social and economic impact. This is because this ecosystem helps this project to thrive. We are not ourselves by ourselves. We are in relation to our environment, so we should always take into account the environment when we make a decision. Neuroscience tells us that 95% of our behavior decisions are the result of some automatisms that we have in our subconscious mind. So maybe we should try and think whether they are obsolete, whether we review them, whether they are useful or not. Sometimes we just do things because we've learned them that way, and we don't take into account whether they are useful for the complex world we have to face nowadays. So our challenge is to contribute to the project of each of us so that it has a high economic and social impact. But we have to have into account not only the individualistic interests, but also how this project is related to the environment. We have to steer from pure logical rationale and stop using only this left half of our hemisphere of our brain, and we have to use this this logic of the relationship, which is really important in relation to intuition, to creativity, our right hemisphere. It has a lot to do with cooperating with others and not only acting as an individual. We have these potentialities. Maybe you haven't activated them yet because we didn't need them, but now we're talking about it because maybe we need it. And biomimetics take us there. And if we go together with biomimetics, we may achieve this goal I've just presented. Let me quote a Catalan poet, Martí i Pol. He said something like, "In now, there's also memories and questions. So we should start giving answers to these questions so that we don't create something which is already obsolete." Thank you very much.